How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the 2018-19 NBA regular season ending in a week, every team from 1 through 8 in the Western Conference already clinched a playoff berth. We're just waiting on matchups and seedings at this point. While the 7 and 8 seed are still up for grabs in the East, it's pretty obvious which 4 teams will advance in the second round. I made my NBA awards predictions right when the season started, and this was my list, where of course many of them were wrong. I had Dennis Schroeder winning the 6th Man of the Year and was absolutely dead wrong about Markelle Fultz, thinking he was gonna bounce back and be the most improved player. He only played 19 total games on the season, has been a total disaster. Thinking Brad Stevens was gonna win Coach of the Year, Boston's actually one of the most disappointing teams this season. Despite having Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, they'll finish with an even poorer record than last season, not even a top 3 seed in the East. Luka Doncic was my Rookie of the Year prediction, which I'll talk about him in a little bit. Rudy Gobert for Defensive Player of the Year, where he will likely finish in the top 3. And my MVP pick was Kawhi Leonard, who would have likely finished in the top 3 if it wasn't for his load management. Sitting over 20 plus games, he's still nearly putting up 27 points on 50% shooting. I had Giannis winning the scoring title, but man, I was nearly 7 points off, cause James Harden easily ran away with it. I had Andre Drummond snatching 15.7 boards, and with just a few games left, he'll win that title, grabbing 15.5 right now. That prediction might be on point. The John Wall prediction was way off on the assist. Russell Westbrook pretty much clinched the assist title. I had Anthony Davis getting the most blocks per game. Might have gotten it if New Orleans allowed him to play his normal minutes after the whole Laker mess. Steals per game, I also had John Wall, but it appears Paul George will be on top of that category. So here are my end of the season 2018-19 NBA award predictions. Starting with the MVP between Giannis and James Harden, I'm giving the slight edge to the Greek Freak. In one of the most heated MVP debates in a while, Harden has the incredible scoring numbers to back it up, putting up historic numbers, averaging over 36 points a game. The last time anybody averaged more points in a season was Michael Jordan back in '87. But Giannis at 24 years old has been the most dominant player this season, putting up 27.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, almost 6 assists on 58% shooting. When you look at team success, Giannis's Bucks are on pace to win over 60 games, pretty much clinch home court advantage throughout the playoffs. The Greek Freak is also the most impactful defensive player in basketball. Based on the plus minus and defensive win share numbers, is a lot better defensively than Harden, and Houston got off to an awful 11-14 overall start before Harden went bananas and saved the Rockets. Despite Chris Paul missing 24 total games, Harden was still part of the team's early struggles and deserved some of the blame for that. Milwaukee's second best player is Chris Middleton, who many average fans never heard of until this season. Before the season started, nobody would have predicted the Bucks would win around 60 games compared to only 44 a season ago, having the best record in the league. And with Houston on pace to win 54 games, they're actually more than 10 games worse compared to last season. If the two teams had a similar record, I would give the slight edge to Harden based on the numbers. Right now, it's an extremely close call, but even when Harden goes off for 50 plus, his team still loses some of those games, has the green light to jack up as many threes as he wants, while Giannis and his team usually takes care of business by the third quarter. The best player on the best team not being forced to play 37 plus minutes, I go with the Greek Freak. Defensive Player of the Year, one of the most wide open races. It will come down to 4 players in Rudy Gobert, Miles Turner, Paul George, and Giannis. I had Paul George 100% up until mid-March. If the regular season ended during the All-Star break, PG would have easily won the award, but since OKC is collapsing towards the final few weeks of the regular season, George hasn't been playing his best as of late, which can hurt his chances. While Giannis is the main reason why the Bucks are also the best defensive team in the league with the best defensive rating, proving to be one of the best two-way players in the game. Given his length and versatility, he's one of the league's most disruptive perimeter defenders and also one of the most feared rim protectors. And for Miles Turner, his name doesn't get mentioned often since he's not an all-star, but he's the main reason why Indy's a top 3 defensive team in the league. Even without Victor Oladipo, he's leading the league averaging 2.7 block shots. While Gobert, he's been the same exact player from a year ago. At the end of the day, I'll still give it to Paul George, who will lead the league in steals as the best player and most valuable for his team all season. In a guard-driven league, he'll get most of his recognition with his activity, also leading the league with 3.7 deflections per game. His team's number 4 in defensive ratings, also does the dirty work, having the daunting task to guard other elite players at his position like LeBron, KD, and Kawhi. I believe PG's gonna win it. Coach of the Year, Doc Rivers. The Clippers were projected to win 33 games before the season started. They were considered a joke in the Western Conference, but now the joke's on the Lakers. Having no All-Star, nobody would have thought LA would be a playoff team. At 47-32, they might win 50. And Doc is responsible for having his guys play hard every single night. Not having any All-Stars and role players like Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Beverley, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Lou Will. They even played better after trading their best player Tobias Harris. Not a talented team at all, but to win this many games with this roster is insanely impressive. Honorable mentions includes Mike Malone, whose Nuggets will win in the mid-50s, likely as the second seed. They have better players than the Clippers, and coach Mike Budenholzer instantly changing the Bucks franchise from being the 7th seed a season ago to having the best record in the league. He does have superstar Giannis, and Nate McMillan of the Pacers, who's doing an excellent job having his team win this many games even after Oladipo's injury. Sixth Man of the Year, Lou Williams without question. Averaging more than 20 points a game, sweet Lou's instant offense, dropping buckets, and takes over games offensively will look to tie Jamal Crawford, winning his third Sixth Man award. Without Williams' scoring, the Clippers wouldn't have enough offense to win this many games. Other candidates include Domantas Sabonis, putting up 14-9 off the bench in 25 minutes on a very efficient 59% shooting. Lou Will's teammate Montrezl Harrell is another candidate, putting up over 16.5 points, almost 7 rebounds, brings instant energy and toughness. Those are the 3 likely candidates, despite Derrick Rose, who made a case at the start of the season, but only played 51 games, and his team's not very good, so he won't win it. But he's a huge inspiration after all those injuries he had to overcome. Most improved player, in another very compelling race, I give the edge to Pascal Siakam, who many never heard of last season. From putting up 7.3 points in 20 minutes of action to averaging 17 points, nearly 7 rebounds on 55% shooting. His energy and effort's been contagious all year round. Many nights, he plays like the second best player on his team behind Kawhi Leonard. Through Kyle Lowry's injuries and Leonard's load management, the 6'9" power forward can do a little bit of everything from playmaking to finishing in transition. Combined with his responsibilities, excelling on the defensive end, I'll give the edge to him over D'Angelo Russell, who's a better player as of now. Proved many doubters wrong, increasing his point average from 15.5 to 21 a game. We saw glimpses of all-star level greatness last season, and it was only a matter of time before D'Lo put everything together. Honorable mentions includes Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, John Collins, and Zach LaVine. Rookie of the Year, even though Trae Young has been on fire after the All-Star break, showing the world what he's made of, Luka Doncic has been consistent throughout the whole season. Although Luka hasn't been as spectacular over the last few weeks, he's still averaging over 21 points, over 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, has better numbers than LeBron's rookie season. But Young made history, having the second most 30-point 10+ assist game as a rookie, passing Michael Jordan and Steph Curry, but Doncic has 7 total triple-doubles, tying Magic Johnson for most before turning the age of 21, where he just turned 20 in late February. Both guys have been amazing to watch, but Luka Doncic has done enough to win the Rookie of the Year award. So once again, here are my 2018-19 NBA award predictions. Giannis MVP, Paul George Defensive Player of the Year, Doc Rivers Coach of the Year, Lou Will for 6th Man, Most Improved Pascal Siakam, Rookie of the Year, Luka Doncic. Now for my All-NBA team. First team All-NBA, Steph Curry and James Harden in the backcourt without question, Paul George at the forward spot alongside Giannis, Joel Embiid at center. I picked PG over KD since he's been doing more for his team. Even though Durant's the better player, Golden State still wins a lot of games without Durant and would still have a high seed, while OKC would be nowhere without Paul George this season. PG also has higher scoring numbers and playing better defensively than Durant all season, but I won't be surprised if KD ends up on the first team over George. Second team, I have Kyrie, Damian Lillard, KD, Kawhi, and Jokic. I picked Kyrie over Russ since he's having a more efficient season. Even though Boston still wins a lot without Irving, he's one of the most unstoppable guys to watch in the clutch, takes over games. Despite Russ averaging a triple-double for the third straight season, recently made history, became the second player to post a 20-20-20 game, but he's been awful shooting the ball all season, shooting 28% from 3, went from an 80% free throw shooter to a terrible 65%, has way too many awful shooting games and no longer the best player on his team, while Damian Lillard's getting it done with the Blazers as usual. I have Kawhi over LeBron for second team. Since his team's the second seed, LeBron won't even make the playoffs, even though James puts up better overall numbers. Kawhi only played a couple more games than LeBron this season and is way better on defense right now and going forward. My third team, I got Russ, Kemba, LeBron, Blake Griffin, and Anthony Davis. For first team all defense, I got Drew Holiday, Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Rudy Gobert. And for second team, Mike Conley, Danny Green, Giannis, Draymond Green, and Miles Turner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.